Hello, and welcome back to Life After Love with Kim. And
Kim.
today we're going to talk a little bit about moving on. And I know that that's kind of a term that neither one of us really like, if you will.
No.
When we say moving on, we basically mean that, we have to continue to live. We have to pay bills. We have to eat. We have to take care of the home, our car, our jobs, everything. And again, we're doing this alone.
Yep. Absolutely. And every day is sometimes a new adventure.
Absolutely.
Every day is different. It is an adventure of doing this alone.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of people do say moving on, and yes, you do move on in your life, but I feel like I move forward or I move with Chris in my life.
Hmm.
Moving on is, I don't know, I guess to me that just feels like, yep, he's gone. I forgot about him. But I think I move forward with him
Hmm.
because he'll always be part of me. And I know Joe
Absolutely.
will always be part of you.
Absolutely.
So I think
Yeah.
we move forward with with those people in our
Okay.
lives.
And again,
And that's
every
just how I feel.
no,
Other
and
people feel
I
differently,
agree
but
110%. And I feel that um, I know you're the same as I am, that every decision that we make for our future does include Chris and Joe.
oh, absolutely.
We think about them when we make these decisions. I know one of the biggest decisions for me, of course, is this home.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph pounded every nail in this home, and um, this house meant everything to us. And the thought of ever having to leave it, um, every memory. Now I understand it's just a home. I understand it's just walls and floors and ceilings, but there's so many memories here, and I don't want to walk away from it.
No.
I
No.
really don't. And um, I know for some people that's not an option, and they do have to sell and they do have to move. And again, I know those memories will go with me wherever I am. I understand that. Um, but this has been our home, and this has been our children's home. I know, as I had said in an earlier episode, I have one child that doesn't like to come here um, because there are so many memories here, and it hurts her to come here. And she has said that if she doesn't come here, then he's still here in her mind. Um,
I bet.
when the kids do come home, reality hits them. I have the reality every day.
Absolutely.
You
And
know,
that's what I tell my kids too.
right?
They aren't they're okay to come home. That doesn't bother them, but they won't go in Chris's bedroom.
Hmm.
They walk past the door and it's almost like they put blinders on, like they have their
Hmm.
hand up or they turn their
Hmm.
head,
Hmm.
because if they don't acknowledge dad's room, then that doesn't
Hmm.
mean dad's gone.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so, I go in Chris's room a lot and I talk to him and ask him for guidance, and
Hmm.
I pray to him you know to help guide me, because this is lonely, this is
Yes.
scary, this
Yes.
is, whew, it's a lot
It's a
to
lot.
do alone.
It is.
And so I do. I go talk to my husband, and um, some people
Hmm.
might call that crazy, but I don't care. That's what gets
And
me.
right.
That's what brings me comfort.
Right.
And right now, this season in my life is all about comfort.
Hmm.
What's good for me?
Protecting yourself.
Protect me, and
Protecting.
I
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
protect my heart. I
Yeah.
have to
Hmm.
protect um, what what I have right now,
Hmm.
because it's all I have.
Hmm. That's a very good way of putting it. I know. I feel like I have to protect everything Joe and I built together, and I
Hmm.
think that's my main goal right now.
And you
Is
have to protect you too,
Yeah.
not just what you
Right.
built together, but
Right.
you have to protect your heart,
Right.
protect you.
Right.
What's good? You have to figure out what's good for me and how do I want to live,
Hmm.
because yeah, moving on as a different person,
Hmm.
absolutely, because
Hmm.
we're not the same people,
No.
but we move forward with our husbands in our hearts
Hmm.
and in our lives, because they're intertwined in our lives for
Absolutely.
the past decades upon decades.
Hmm.
But we are moving on as different people. So I think there is a fine line there,
Hmm.
and that's, oh, man, it's hard to figure out.
It is.
It's hard to,
It really
and
is.
every day, as I said, every day is different.
Hmm.
Some days I think, yep, I got this. Other days it's all I can do to get out of bed.
Hmm. Hmm. And I think one of the things I've noticed is, people used to say I had the patience of Job.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I don't have that anymore.
No, absolutely
I
not.
literally don't have that anymore.
No,
I think it's just this, like I can't, I just don't sweat the small stuff
the
anymore.
petty, the
What,
trivial,
yeah,
whatever. Just
what someone thinks is very important,
yeah.
I could literally care less about. Like
Nope.
if somebody's missing their yogurt,
Yep.
don't care you're missing your
Don't
yogurt.
care.
Could care less. It may be important to you. Sorry about that. It's not important to me.
No, no. What's
Um,
important to us is how we are supposed
Absolutely.
to
I
live
mean,
every day.
I wish that were my only concern for
Oh
the
my
day. I
gosh, me
really do.
too.
I wish that was my only concern.
I know.
Unfortunately, I've got concern upon concern upon concern upon concern, like just stacking up. Um, One of the things I do is I make lists every day of things I want to accomplish for the day. Do I get through my list? No,
No.
no, I never get through the list. Joe and I were list people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were list people.
I'm a
Uh,
list person,
yeah,
and I would forget mine on the table, and then I'd call Chris and say, "Hey,
yeah,
what does my list say?" Or
yeah, yeah.
or if he'd be with me, he said, "Hey, I got your back. I
But
took a
see,
picture of the list.
yeah,
I brought your list because I know you'll
but
forget
see
it.
there
Thanks,
again.
honey.
Yeah,
You got my back. You
there again.
always
Yeah.
had my back." And I said that. I've said that many times.
Mm-hmm,
He had my back, and if I would fall or trip or stumble, he'd pick me up, pat me on the butt,
mm-hmm,
put me back in the game,
mm-hmm.
just to
But
keep
you
on going.
also, but you also did the same thing for him. I know
Oh,
you don't.
absolutely,
You know.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and we acknowledged that.
Mm-hmm,
We thanked each other, like, "Hey, thanks for helping,"
mm-hmm,
and acknowledged the effort.
mm-hmm.
And I find that nobody acknowledges my effort anymore.
Yeah.
And I just said it's a struggle to get out of bed, and nobody acknowledged that I did it.
Mm-hmm,
Nobody said, "Hey, honey, great job."
mm-hmm,
No, nobody cares.
mm-hmm,
Nobody acknowledges my
mm-hmm,
little accomplishments, my
mm-hmm.
little goals that I
No,
met.
and again, I feel like that is important. And is that something we miss? Absolutely. But it also contributes to our feeling of, are we making the right decisions? Are we doing the
Oh,
right things?
absolutely.
Because we don't have anybody to validate.
Right.
Nobody's validating.
Nope.
I can't remember the
Mm-mm.
last time somebody validated me. I really can't. I
Well, I do
honest,
sometimes. I'm like, "Yeah, you're good. You made the right decision." And you're like, "Well, did I?" And then I'm like, "Well, I don't know. This is what maybe I would have done." So,
yeah,
sometimes we help each other,
yeah.
but I guess it's just not the same. A husband is different
No,
because
because
it's
they know everything about you. They know
oh yeah.
everything about you, and
Hmm.
just like I knew everything about him. And when you are a couple like that, and then you are alone, um, again, those decisions are very. It makes it even more difficult.
It
Like a
does.
simple decision that, I don't know, I used to think was simple,
Hmm.
is so complicated now.
Hmm.
And it's exhausting, and it wears on you mentally, physically, emotionally. You know, it
And
just
that
really wears.
exhaustion is
Absolutely,
it gets compounded if
absolutely.
something else like
Hmm.
suddenly happens, like with your
Hmm.
car or with the
Yeah,
house. You're like, "Oh,
yeah.
there's one more thing
One more thing.
that I
Yeah,
have to figure
yeah,
out by myself."
yeah.
And then I think, well, what should I do? What would Chris tell me to do?
Hmm.
And I hate that. What would Chris? And I'm not that I hate that. I don't say that, but if some people say, "Oh, he'd want you to do this." Oh, how do you know? I
Right,
knew my
right.
husband better than
Yeah,
anybody,
yeah,
so don't tell me what he would want.
yeah, yeah. I get that sometimes too. Like, um, Joe would want you to be happy. Yes, he would.
Sure.
I'm not denying that Joe would
Sure,
want me to be
sure,
happy. Yeah.
absolutely.
Um, Joe would want you to move on. Okay. Joe would want me to live my life.
Right, he'd want you
Okay.
to live,
He'd
right.
want me to live.
Absolutely,
Um,
Chris would too.
Moving
Mhm.
on, I think, has different connotations for different people. Um, Moving on for me basically is just getting to a point where I can make a decision without this overwhelming guilt and fear and
Correct.
gnawing, and
Correct.
that's all I want.
Doubt,
That's all I want.
right.
That's
That
literally all I want. I don't think I'm asking too much. That's really all I want. Um,
and and you'll get there in time.
mhm.
In time.
I really, I pray I do, Kim, because
I've had people
um,
tell me it takes time.
mhm.
Time heals. No, time doesn't heal. Time helps me um to carry this
Okay,
differently because I was where you are.
yeah,
And I feel like I'm carrying my grief a little bit differently. Some days a little softer, some days a little heavier, but um, I'm carrying it differently.
Okay.
So you'll get there.
I,
And I don't know when. Everybody's
right.
different
Right.
because grief is different for everybody,
Hmm.
and I think that needs to be
Hmm.
acknowledged.
Absolutely. And you know, I have to. And again, I think one of the biggest things I have to learn is giving myself permission. It's something I've never really done that in all my years. I've
Me
never
too.
given myself permission.
Me too.
Um, and these are all things that we have to
We
learn.
have to learn
These are things that,
because it's
yeah,
basically starting over
absolutely.
as a new
As a
person
new person,
with a
as
new
yeah,
identity.
yeah. Like I said, I was 23,
Hmm.
23 years old. You
I was
know,
19.
what do you know? What do you know at that age?
Nothing.
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 You literally know nothing. So we kind of grew together. And I think
Absolutely.
that's where this difficulty comes in.
Hmm.
I didn't do it by myself.
Now you have to grow by yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to learn life by
Absolutely.
yourself
Yep.
instead of doing it with somebody else.
Absolutely.
We would learn different things
Mm-hmm.
with somebody else. We would do
Mm-hmm.
things with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's by
Mm-hmm.
ourselves.
But when you think about how many things are partners,
Mm.
how many things are partners?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. In,
Um,
in packages of two.
in packages of two.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and how many things you do are partnered. You know, you can't have the salt without the pepper. You can't have the ketchup without the mustard. So we're like, that's kind of how I feel.
Hmm.
You know, I'm only one of those things.
I don't like mustard.
No, I like ketchup.
I like ketchup better than
Yeah,
mustard.
I like, but I do put ketchup and mustard on my hot dog. Don't know why.
How about on your burger?
Just ketchup. Yeah, I know. Again, we stray off topic.
Yes.
But I want people to understand that there is a reason why this feels so lonely and so difficult is because, you know, our society, everything is pretty much coupled. When
Hmm.
you think about it, it's coupled. I mean, God created Eve for Adam. There was a reason for that.
There's two.
There's two.
Hmm.
He knew he needed a partner. That's what he knew.
And thank God he did.
And thank God he did. Um, but those types of things, and then again, we're trying to live a life alone, without that person being there to bounce things off of, to validate us, to give us permission, to put us back in the game. Um, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do the things you have to do on a daily basis, um, let alone planning for monthly, yearly. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, I could possibly live another 20 years.
Hmm.
How?
Right.
You know,
But this past year, you're like, good God, do I have to do
I
this for
know,
longer?
I know.
And that's what I think too. I've been doing this by myself for almost 22 months. And I
Hmm.
think, good God, how much longer do I have to do
I know,
this?
I know, I know.
Yeah.
And that's just it. But unfortunately, this is our life now, and this is what we've been handed. This is our life after having the love of our life to guide us, to grow with, to make all these decisions with, to do all these things. Um, and now we have to do it alone. But and um,
And nobody gets it
no,
unless you've been there, done
unless
that,
you
bought the
unless
T-shirt, like
yeah,
you said.
yeah.
Like you and I get it
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, two thousand
Mm-hmm.
percent. But
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult to talk to somebody that doesn't understand
No,
because
no.
I've had several people say to me, "Well, why are you still struggling?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? Why aren't you
Mm-hmm.
moving on? Why
Mm-hmm.
aren't you over it?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you
Mm-hmm.
better?" I'm never going to be better.
No, no.
It might be a little easier to carry, but I'm never going to be quote unquote better because
Mm-hmm.
this is not something you fix. This is not a broken leg. This
No.
is not a big laceration or surgery that heals, that
Mm-hmm.
fixes. This doesn't fix.
No.
And there's very, very few people that understand that this is not fixable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a very good way of putting it. I know I read something a couple days ago that kind of goes with it, but it kind of gave me a little bit of peace when I read it, and it's something so silly. And it said it's okay to be lost. It's okay to be broken. Even broken colors, even broken crayons can still color.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
It's
thought,
true. It's
wow,
true.
that's pretty cool because I am broken.
You're a broken crayon.
I'm a broken crayon, but I can
Hmm.
still color.
You can,
There are things I
absolutely.
can still do. Am I a whole
Absolutely.
crayon? No.
No,
Um, but I can still make my mark, and I can still do some things. I can still do things that will honor my husband. I can still do things that
you
will
can
honor my
still live.
family, and I can still live.
And
You know.
and that's what I think too. We all deserve to live.
Mhm.
This loss has shattered our life, but I think we all deserve to live. We just have to figure out how.
Right, right.
We just have to
And again,
get
and
a
again,
new path.
absolutely. And again, like some of the judgment and things doesn't help. You know, it really
Oh my good.
doesn't. It
Oh my
really
God.
doesn't help.
No, no, no.
It really affects us deeply and terribly.
You've had that recently
I've had
too.
that recently, and it just it's devastating. Like people don't get it. Like, why are you so upset over something so silly? It may be silly to you. It may be silly to you. But to me, it's a major thing,
Sure it is.
and that's what I cannot get people to understand that my life has changed so drastically that even something simple that I normally would just slough off affects me for the whole day,
And
you
every
know,
facet of your life is affected when you lose a
absolutely.
spouse. This is the
Ab-
third time I've itched my nose. What does that mean? I don't know. But
Somebody's
anyways,
talking about you, I
oh,
think.
maybe I don't know.
It's an old wives' tale. I
I
think
don't know.
somebody's talking about you when
I
you
don't know.
scratch your nose. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know.
Or your
But
nose is just itchy.
or
I have
maybe
no
I have
idea.
allergies.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Did you wash today? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, but seriously, when you lose a spouse, every facet of your life has
Mhm.
changed. Um, other losses are very significant, and I would
Mhm.
never demean or take away from any other loss. Um, but I truly think the loss of a child and the loss of a spouse
Mhm.
affect every facet of your life,
Absolutely.
and I think it's, as I said, it's not wrong, it's not better, it's not worse. I just think it is so much different,
Mhm.
those two things. And
Mhm.
until you've had those losses, you don't understand
Right.
the intensity
Mhm.
of how everything in your life is affected.
Mhm. And again, that's one of the reasons why we chose to do this podcast is we want to somehow reach people and let them know um, that this is how people are feeling. This is how people that have lost their spouse are feeling. They are feeling lost. They are feeling broken. They don't know how to pick up the pieces. They don't know how to go on and move on. They don't know how to make those decisions. And one of the things Kim and I have said is just be there for them. Just be there for them. Be a
Just sit with them.
support for them.
Hmm.
Sit with them. Um,
Because not a lot of people are comfortable
no,
with that. And we've
no, they're
talked
not.
about that many times.
Absolutely.
People are not comfortable with
Hmm.
grief. We live in a grief illiterate society, and
Hmm.
I'll say it over and over
Right.
again. We are a grief illiterate society,
Hmm.
and it doesn't make people comfortable, so they avoid it. And that's when they say, "Oh, Joe would want you to be
Yeah.
happy," or your husband would want you
Hmm.
to move on, or
Hmm.
why are you so upset? you
Hmm.
you know Chris wouldn't want you to do that.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know? And that's,
Hmm.
you're trying to make yourself feel better.
And I think that's just it,
Hmm.
and I think that's oftentimes what everyone does.
Yeah.
Is it wrong? Is it bad?
Oh, no,
No,
no, no,
it's not. We're not saying that.
no. And
What we're saying is it doesn't help us.
it does
It
not.
does
And I
not.
think it
It does
comes
not
with the
help us.
best of
Yeah,
intentions,
it does.
with the
Yeah,
purest heart.
it
It
does.
truly
It
does.
does. Yes.
But I find myself, it sometimes it's very difficult
Hmm.
to feel that way,
Hmm.
that I feel like, yeah, I know you probably mean well, but you know what? It's not good for me, so stop talking. That's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my rude self comes out.
See, I think I find myself being a little bit more short with people than I
Oh,
used to be.
absolutely. My
Um,
patience. We talked about
yeah,
patience level.
absolutely. Yeah,
Zero.
my patience level. Um,
Zero.
yeah, as I said, when it comes to minor little things, um, I'm sorry, I can't be there for you. My cup is empty. My
It
cup
is.
is empty. If anyone is expecting anything from me right now, I'm going to apologize. I cannot be there for you. I can barely be there for myself. I can barely keep myself going every single day. I just cannot be there for other people right now. I just can't. And um, it does bother me because that's kind of always been my thing. You know, I've
But
always
again,
been,
you have to learn
yeah.
to be different. You have to learn a
Hmm.
different Kim now.
Hmm.
I'm learning. It's taking
Hmm.
time. Every day, as I said, is different, but we'll get there.
I really hope I like the new Kim. I really do. Because I liked the old Kim very much. I really liked her. She was cool. Um,
Really?
but again, like,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
you didn't have to like her, but I did.
Okay.
Um,
Really?
supposed to be my best friend. Is this not sad? Anyway, no, the thing is that that Kim defined herself as so many things, and one of the biggest things is gone. I am a wife. I'm still a wife, but like I was telling my son Charlie yesterday when I met up with him that um, one of the reasons why I don't enjoy my life anymore is everything I did was to make Joe happy. I know
Mm.
that sounds silly, but it really was.
Like what? What did you do?
Just like everything. Like um, I would clean the house. He said, "Oh, babe, look, the house looks really good. Thank you." Like stuff like that. No one's here to say that anymore.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
nobody notices. Nobody
nobody
acknowledges
notices.
those
Nobody
little goals.
acknowledges.
Just like I
Um,
said, nobody, we do those things. And
yeah,
again, like I said, Chris would say, hey, thanks for doing that, or thanks for
yeah,
helping, or
yeah.
um, I'm glad that we could do this
Right,
together.
right.
And now I look around and I do things and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
cares
think
that I
that's the
did it.
biggest thing is that, we were so entwined in each other's lives that everything he did, I validated him. Everything I did, he validated me. And I just don't have that anymore. It's like, why bother?
Mhm.
Why bother? Because nobody's going to care anyway.
Right.
You know,
So that's why I don't dust and I don't vacuum.
I wonder if I let my house go, I wonder if anybody, I think people would notice
I think so.
because
I
they
think so.
expect it
Yeah.
to be a certain
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Um, and then they might think I'm losing it
Right.
and call
Right.
911 and have me committed or something.
Right.
Maybe
Exactly.
that's what would
Oh,
happen.
she's the poor
Yeah,
grieving wife.
yeah,
Blah blah blah.
yeah.
Yeah. She
It's
can't
just
function. Blah blah
see, and
blah.
again, please don't pity me. I don't want to be pitied. I've never wanted to be pitied.
No.
That's not something I want.
No.
I
No.
want to be validated. I want to be heard. I want you to understand where I'm at, but I do not want pity. I don't like pity is something I absolutely do not want.
Absolutely
Don't
not.
pity to me sounds like demeaning.
It does. It
It's
does.
really
Yeah.
like
I just
demeaning.
want
Yeah,
somebody to acknowledge
right.
me and to listen. That's
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
Just I think those are two simple
Absolutely.
needs. And
Yeah.
I'm learning how and learning who can acknowledge and listen,
Mm-hmm.
because there's very few people in my life that can acknowledge and listen
Mm-hmm.
and sit with me in my grief and
Mm-hmm.
in my sometimes all I need is silence. Just sit
Mm-hmm.
with me. Don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit with me. And that's what a lot of people just want.
Right, right. I know you had an opportunity recently where a friend of yours, her mother was passing away,
Hmm.
and you were able to sit with her. And I was so proud of you because I know it was difficult for you. I know it was
It,
bringing up memories and things, and I just want to let you know I was so proud of you that you were able
well,
to be
thank
there
you.
for your friend,
Thank you
and
for acknowledging.
you could feel her pain, and I really think you helped her, and that
I
is,
think she
yeah,
appreciated it, and
yeah,
she did tell me, and it did bring me some comfort, to know that to know how somebody feels,
right.
because you've already
Mm-hmm.
experienced that. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you for acknowledging, because I can tell you I struggled with that, but because I loved her and the family, I thought I need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do
Mm-hmm.
this, and that maybe that's another step in my healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
And she acknowledged that too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank
No, I was so proud of you.
you.
I
Thank
was
you.
so proud of you because I knew how hard it was. And when you told me, I was like, wow, that had to be difficult for her, but she did it. And I was
I did
so proud of you. So I'm validating you. How about that?
Well, thank you.
Yay!
Acknowledging.
We'll validate each other. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And I sat with her
yes, you did.
because she has that anticipatory
Yeah.
grief, and we talked about that a little bit
Hmm.
too. Anticipatory grief is
Oh,
just as hard,
it's
if
just
not
as hard.
harder.
It's just as
Not
hard.
harder. I can't say
Yeah.
harder because nothing is as
Hmm.
hard as just grief in general, but
Hmm.
it's just that anticipatory. And this is the first loss for her,
Hmm.
and it was it. I don't know. It was
Well, your mother's a major loss. I mean, let's just
comfort. Oh, right,
oh, your
right,
mother is a major
right.
loss because no matter what you do, your mom's going to be there for you. And that's difficult. And I'm sure that, you know, she's got a difficult road ahead. She has
Mhm.
a brother and a father. She has a husband and children, and she's going to have to be picking up the pieces and moving on too. And it's going to be difficult. It really is. So
Mhm.
again, just you're being there for her, and I know you're going to continue to be there for her.
I will. I
And I
will.
think that's going to be a big help to her. Yeah,
I hope
I
so.
think it's going to be a big help to her.
I hope so.
Um, and I know that one of the things that um, we were talking about anticipatory grief, and I know that that was probably just as bad as when he left, was because I I knew he was in pain. I didn't want him to be in pain anymore, but I didn't want him to go. And that was probably, like I said, you're so selfish, Kim. You're being so selfish. But I didn't want him to go, but I knew he had to go. I knew he had to be at peace. And that was one of the hardest things, was to let go and let him be at peace. And I know that a lot of you out there have felt the same way.
And
And
that
and it
that's
does it hurts. It hurts so bad.
and it's horrible guilt,
It is.
and I live with that guilt.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Guilt is one of the worst things that you have to live with. Um, but when you restart and you reset, that guilt has to be gone. You have to get rid of it. You've got to. You've got to shed
Eventually,
that guilt
eventually.
eventually, and move on. You cannot continue to go back on that and second guess any decision you made, because every decision I made, I tried to do what was best for him, and I know you did too.
And
You know.
I've heard other people talk about it, other grief educators and grief counselors and grief coaches talk about, instead of what if I would have done this or what if I would have done that,
Mhm.
they to help the feelings of guilt. Sometimes they they say, well, put a positive spin on it, like, even if even if you would have done this, even if you would have taken
Okay,
them
that's
to
a
the
yeah.
best doctors in the world, if you would have,
Hmm.
um if you would have been there for this, or if you wouldn't have done that, it even if things had been different, the same outcome would have
Hmm.
happened. And
Hmm.
that has helped me a little bit,
Good.
because because we can't change it.
No, no,
And
we
we're
can't.
not we're
No,
not powerful enough to change
no,
that. And
no.
I struggled with that for a very
Hmm.
long time. It's getting better, but
Hmm.
I try to think of the even if instead of
Hmm.
the what if.
Okay.
So that might help you too.
Yeah,
That
maybe.
might
Yeah,
help
I will try to work on that. But I'm Hungarian, and we're full of guilt.
and
Um,
stubbornness.
so as you're moving on or moving with this, I want you to just try to do one thing a day, accomplish one thing a day, and see how that goes. Okay. So thank you for tuning in for another episode of Life After Love with Kim and
Kim,
bye.
bye.